Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is, well, it's Eye of the Mind. It's a one-shot. Normally we play our Chult of Personality Tomb of Annihilation game on Sunday nights, but apparently there's some kind of big sporting event happening tonight, and one of our players is apparently having a party at his house. So we've decided we still want to play some D&D. So I had these guys roll up some new characters. I've given them all kinds of shiny magic weapons and items and whatnot. I haven't told them where they're going or what they're going to be doing. And they're going to try to survive this adventure, and I'm going to try to kill them. Or their characters, at least. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of hours. Now, as a reminder, domain dice are absolutely in effect because this is MTD. So I'm going to first roll a d6. I got a 3, which means that's Connor. Connor, roll me a d4. Screw it. Roll a d6.
Oh, well, all right. If you say so. It's a 3.
All right. So we're going to go into, where's my interface here? And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give you 3 domain dice. I'm going to scooch those over a little bit. So you guys do have 3 domain dice. Should anybody be feeling generous, and if we get any subscribers, raids, any of that good stuff, all the usual rules apply, which are also over in the chat here on Twitch. And all the other usual stuff. You can subscribe to or follow the Twitch channel, check out the YouTube channel. All that stuff will be on the break screen and the end of stream screen. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see all of these wonderful people's links there as well. So I'm going to go and have them each introduce themselves and tell us exactly who you are playing in this one-shot adventure. And we'll start with Mike.
Sure, why not? Hi, everyone. I'm Mike. I'm gonna be. I don't know. I don't know what to say. You know, what do you even say when you're like, "Hey, here, jump feet first into this thing that you don't know what's gonna happen." I'm gonna be playing a monk. I have always wanted to play a monk. I've never had the chance to, so I figured this would be a great chance to get my feet wet in playing these kind of characters. So I am playing Ka Ino, the half-elven monk, and hopefully I'll still have this character by the end of this game.
And what is Ka Ino's AC and passive perception?
Armor class is 16, and passive perception is 15.
Fantastic. Next up, we are going to go to Connor.
Hey, I'm Connor from Dice on Ice. Normally I play as Eric, the Era Cochrane rogue, but tonight I'm going to be playing a visitor from a foreign land known as Min Wong, a person who uses the subtle magics of illusion and enchantment, as well as darker magics to manipulate and murder people. Unfortunately, Mike said that we're going to get our feet wet, and I feel like we're going to now be at the bottom of an ocean kind of adventure, and that's scary. So, yeah, that's terrifying.
And what is Min Wong's AC and passive perception?
15 and 13, respectively.
15 and 13. And finally, Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am the other half of Dice on Ice, and tonight I will be playing Sigmus, a fire genasi, however you pronounce it, words, and he is going to be an eldritch knight, which is very exciting. And my ace, or his AC, is 17, and passive perception is 12. Not my AC. My AC would be like 2.
All right. So, for those who may be joining us either in the live audience or later on D&D, I will put a link to this. The adventure I'm running This is actually, I'm adapting it from an adventure called Mind Blast that was written by Will Doyle. And I believe that this adventure was when 5th edition first came out. N-World had a contest for an adventure to be a part of or be used with the last playtest package. So this adventure actually came about before D&D 5th edition was fully released, and also happens to be the very first ever pre-written 5th edition adventure that I ran. So with that familiarity, I've taken it, chucked out most of what's in it, put some new stuff in it, and said, all right, guys, let's play in this. So you guys have no idea. You legitimately have no clue what you are about to step into. And so we are going to start with you awaken in fire. This is not a metaphorical fire. This is not a dream. The room that you are in is burning. Sigmus, you awaken not from unconsciousness, but from unawareness. You awaken as if from a dream. You are on your knees, hands outstretched. The resounding echo of some sort of explosion ringing in your ears. And all around you, fire rages through this vaulted chamber. It's dancing across shelving. You can see the fire doing that thing where fresh flames are licking upwards against the rafters, trying to get out of the room. So you're seeing that rolling underside of the flame. Thousands of clay jars, each etched with a different symbol, are stacked into alcoves in these stony walls. As the heat is reaching them, some of them already blown apart by the concussive force of whatever explosion seems to have happened, these jars are cracking and bursting all around you. Glowing vapors are seething out of each of these vases as they burst. And they corkscrew off and blend with the smoke that is filling the room. There are two archways that you can see, one to the north and another to the east, coming out of this room. You see on the floor around you, you see several humanoid forms. It's hard to make out. A couple of them are kind of on top of one another. Amongst those are also the just arousing to consciousness Kaino and Min Wong. Kaino, you are in a pile of your brothers. Or what you don't know how you know this. You just know that these three bodies are your brothers. They are dressed in similar garb to you, and again, you don't know how you know this, but they are of a lower rank than you. You don't have complete and total amnesia, you're just completely disoriented. And Min Wong, you awaken by yourself, face down on the ground. Smoke billowing up and fire billowing up around you. What would the three of you be doing? And we'll take it in the order that I told you of your consciousness. So we'll go Megan, Mike, and Connor.
At first glance, you might think that Sigmus himself is on fire. That his body has succumbed to the flames, but they don't seem to burn the flesh that is visible. The flesh that is not touched by the flame continues to be untouched, unseared. And he gets up, stands, looking around, eyes almost fixated on the bodies around him, taking a few moments to look at each face. And as he sees the first one moving, he would face your body and walk up to it and kind of nudge you a bit in the stomach with his foot, but would not say anything.
Yeah, I would kind of be torn out of my stupor by this kind of foot in the ribs. I would be checking, just checking for life signs from any of my fallen brethren. Seeing if any of them have any pulse or anything.
They do not.
Okay. Realizing that there's nothing I can do for them, I'm going to do a very cursory, like I'm just going to check to see if they have anything that I can use to continue living, as my order is very much, while like they are looking to protect each other, if someone is gone, then whatever they have can be used to help the living to continue. So
As you check the bodies first for signs of life, finding none, you almost instinctively begin looking for anything of use, but these bodies are broken, burned, their clothing, what little is worn, is burned away, singed, in some places melted and fused to their skin. Anything they may have had appears to have burned along with them. All around you, you can hear the crackling of the fire, and you can hear the of these clay jars. And I would like you to make a insight check.
all right, that'll be a 12.
There's something important about these jars that you can't quite, in your disorientation, put your finger on. It's important, these jars. They shouldn't be breaking apart like this. Something valuable is being lost with every jar that explodes, and the fire appears to be rapidly threatening to burst these jars. And as I said, there are literally thousands of jars, small clay jars, all over this room, tucked into alcoves. Which also, I forgot to mention, the room that you are in is about 40 feet on a side. And as a reminder, you have an archway to the north and an archway to the east. As you are coming to this realization, Min Wong, you awaken.
I cough out the smoke in the air and I immediately kind of stay low to the ground. I'm looking around and I see these two archways and the huge blaze that's happening. Which one of them is closer to me, and which of them looks safer, or has a safer path to them?
Sigmus is in the middle of the room, still on his knees. Or no, wait, you moved over to... That's right. So they're both over in the corner. You are... Min Wong, you are lying sort of in front of that northern archway, which is in the northwestern corner of the room. They are across the room about 30 feet from you, up against some shelving.
And when I look down this archway,
You're looking
what is
out.
beyond?
Sorry, you cut out there for a minute.
The northern archway. If I look through it,
You can see that it appears to open into the end of a hallway that continues to the east. So all you see is the end of a hallway
all right,
and,
the
and
fire
more
is,
stone walls.
The fire is contained in this room.
The fire seems to be, from what you can tell, primarily in this room.
So she'll like stagger up onto her own feet. She's gonna kind of crouch to keep low, to not inhale too much of the smoke that billows up into the rafters of this room. And she'll just like hobble towards this northerly archway, just to get out of the fire, out of the smoke, out of the heat.
So you're going to go into the hallway or just into the archway?
Into the hallway as much as I can to
Okay.
avoid this.
You see as you move out into the hallway, which is rapidly filling with smoke, that this hallway extends to the east looks to be about 80 feet. There's a door about maybe 20 feet from you on the northern wall, and there appear to be a couple more doorways much further down the hallway. You can hear voices coming from somewhere outside of this room. Panicked voices, frantic voices. You can just make out former water brigade, former bucket brigade, water from the pool. We've got to put the flames out, or the whole monastery's gonna go.
I'll keeping that in mind. I'm also gonna rush to, and again on instinct, try and put any sort of detritus on fire, kick it away from these pots. Try to keep the fire from spreading to these clay pots. So if any clay pots are on fire, grab those pots and just kind of kick them or punch them away from the rest of them to try and save whatever is inside these pots that my addled mind can't think of.
All right, Keanu jumps up and begins darting around the room, rapidly grabbing some of the flaming debris and knocking it out of the way so that more are not destroyed. You're noticing that there are these alcoves some of them have wooden shelves that sit atop the alcove shelves that are stone. So this whole area is stone, except for the ceiling above you that is wood. So most of the damage was done by the initial explosion. But I would like you to make me a dexterity, a straight dexterity check.
Me, right?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I don't know why. For some reason, I thought it was Connor. Well, that's not bad. That's not bad. That'll be a 16. No, I'm sorry, 15.
15 is what you needed. You only take 2 points of fire damage, burning your hands a little bit as you're grabbing some of these urns. And you manage to do so without breaking any further urns. A quick assessment, it looks like several hundred urns were lost. You still can't quite put your finger on what it is about these urns that is so important. You see the figure of Min Wong kind of leaning against the wall out in the hallway. Sigmus, as Kaino suddenly got up and started darting around the room, what are you doing?
Sigmus watches him for a few extra beats before this low, almost crackly voice comes from him. We cannot save what is here. Let us get out, and hopefully we can spare your life. And he would move on. Like once he says that, he would move to where he sees Min in that archway.
I'm barely registering, and if anything, I'm just absentmindedly just shouting, I have to save everything here, and basically just once I feel like I can get a handle on it, then I'll probably follow. I'll follow Sigmar. No,
Sigmus.
Pardon me.
So, in the time it's taking you to really quickly, and I mean, you're a monk, so you just have speed built into you as you're darting around and grabbing at these and knocking them out of the way. Sigmus has moved sort of in the direction that Min Wong moved. Min Wong, you see from one of the archways far down the hall, or more of like a regular doorway, you see a shape come stumbling into the hallway, and it crashes against the stone wall, coming from the direction to the south of the hallway at the far end. It crashes into the wall, and it's too big for this hallway. It's slamming massive bulbous forearms with hunched shoulders and an insectoid head with massive pincers, and it's slamming its fists against its head as it comes in. And you notice as Sigmus moves towards Min Wong. Sigmus, you would actually see this figure come into the hallway. Kaino, you don't see this, but you see one come through the doorway to the east into this room in the same behavior. Its massive hulking form stumbling in, and it's looking towards you, and it's opening its pincers, and they're clacking ominously as it holds its hands out and sort of beats at its chest, throws its head back, grabbing at its head, and begins stumbling towards you. As you each have Umber Hulks moving towards you. And what would you like to do? And I'm gonna throw it to Min Wong first.
I think that as soon as she sees this great beast, she'll like duck back around the corner just to not be seen by its, compound eyes. But periodically like keep kind of peeking over the corner. If it advances farther down the hall towards where we are, then she will spring to action. Otherwise, she'll like just let it rampage on.
Right now, it's about 50 feet down the hallway, and it's slamming against the walls, sort of staggering and grabbing at the walls, but it is moving towards you. It closes about 30 feet as it moves towards you. And then it sees you, and it holds its hands out towards you as it begins lumbering. And the same one inside this sort of vault is also coming towards you, Kaino. And I'm going to go ahead and have you guys roll initiative as we determine how the rest of these actions play out, regardless of what you guys choose to do. That's all right. Sigmus, what'd you get?
Got a 5.
18.
And Min Wong.
23.
So, no surprise, Min Wong will be going first.
And so she sees this great beast kind of just like smash its way through the hallway towards her, having seen me. She'll pull out a small thin flute assuming that she has all her belongings and they're not on fire.
A quick check, and you do have all of your belongings. And though everything's a bit singed, and smells strongly of smoke, you do all have your belongings.
And she'll play this flute. And as she plays this flute, from the end of it rises a kind of a cool white bluish vapor, and the vapor descends upon the Umber Hulk that is progressing its way towards me. And as the vapor solidifies around its head and around its eyes, it'll form a dazzling array of rainbowish colors as I cast Hypnotic Pattern upon it. So it needs to make a Wisdom saving throw. It's a DC of 15.
That is a natural 1.
All right, it is now charmed by me for as long as I concentrate on the spell. And it's also incapacitated and has a speed of 0.
Okay.
So I stop it in its tracks, and I see that the spell has taken hold. And you said that there's another doorway down this hallway that's on this side of where the Umber Hulk originally smashed out of, right?
So it came through a doorway, didn't smash through, but crashed against the stone walls. And it is actually now standing in front of a door that is on its right or your left.
And if it's close, it's you said 20 feet away, she will use her movement to go up to the door and try to open it. Even though it'll be within, like breathing range of this beast, she's confident in her spell, having incapacitated it.
And absolutely, as you kind of move a little bit cautiously up towards this creature, it seems as it's standing there sort of wavering, it's just, you hear this as it towers over you, its huge shoulders and hunched back carapace nearly brushing the ceiling. And you try the door above you, or to your left, and that is... the door is unlocked.
So as I progress, seeing the thing, I say, come to Sigmus, who's like near me. As I like creak open the door, and I look in and kind of step in.
Sigmus, from where you were in the doorway, you absolutely can see all of this, but you can also see the other Umber Hulk that is in the vault that is approaching Kaino. As you open the door, Minwang, you see an Athenium. Hundreds of tomes line the walls of this chamber. 2 staircases that exit to the east, one going up and one going down, with wooden doors to the south that you just came through, and another one on the east.
How large is this chamber, roughly?
This chamber... so this chamber is only about 30 feet across, but about 50 feet wide, and you've come out in sort of in the middle. So there's a set of stairs leading down immediately to your right.
Okay, cool. And then the upstairs are on the left wall.
The upstairs are further north on the same wall leading up.
Oh, same wall. Gotcha.
Yep. Okay. And the doorway that leads out of this room, besides the one you came in, is between the 2 stairways. Okay. Kaino.
She'll slink into the room as her last little bit of movement. And
that's it'll take you your last bit of movement just to get inside that room. Kaino, this Umber Hulk is still coming towards you, flailing its arms, beating its head and chest, its pincers clicking. What are you going to
do? Okay. I draw my short sword, and I'm gonna move in to attack it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm okay with that. That is a 19 to hit.
And that hits.
All right. And that'll be so that'll be 11 points of damage with that. And then I'm going to spend a key point, and I'm going to do a flurry of blows.
Ooh, nice.
So I'll do 2 unarmed strikes there. The first one is, was a 21.
That hits.
The next one is a 16.
The 16 does not hit.
Okay. And so that'll be an extra 2 points of damage on top of that. And I have one more attack.
Ooh, nice.
Because I almost forgot. I'm like, oh no, I'm not getting stuck in that level 5 nonsense. And that'll be an 18 to hit.
That hits just.
Ooh. And that'll be another 12 points of damage.
You see, as you're striking this thing, it's reacting, almost reeling as you strike it. And it's looking at you with it's got these sort of more bulbous eyes, but also another set of smaller eyes right above it. And it's staring at you, its pinchers clicking. And I would like you to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. Well, that's a 12. Maybe not.
That is a fail. You cannot take any reactions until the start of your next turn, as it's giving you a confused look, but also it seems to be messing with your head. And I need you to roll a d8. No, wait. No, you don't. That's at the start of your next turn. You need to roll a d8.
All right.
So something about the way it's looking at you has affected you. With your charm effect, Connor, does Min Wong, does the Umber Hulk get additional saves from Hypnotic Pattern?
Nope. The only time it gets saves if it takes damage or is being shooken awake by some creature taking its action to do so.
All right. It seems to be pacified by whatever you've done to it, and is just standing there, just making that deep breathing sound. Sigmas, you see Kaino assault this thing and then seem to sort of have a weird reaction looking at this one down in the vault. What would you do, Sigmas?
Sigmas looks from Min Wong and down that hallway back to this creature that Kaino is in front of. And you can see he's trying to force himself down the hall, but then with a grunt, he turns and he takes out his blade, and with a sound that sounds like the combination of a rush of wind and fiery crackle of embers that are coming from his mouth, the blade just comes alive with this fire, though probably not as impressive because there's fire everywhere. But he is going, and he marches right up to this thing, and he is going to slash at it with his longsword.
All right. Make your attack.
All right. That is a 24 and a 17.
The 24 hits. 17 does not.
Okay. That is going to do 15 points of damage. 9 slashing and 6 fire.
Excellent. You can see that you managed to. You actually can see that from his flurry of blows, Eno managed to crack the carapace in a couple places, and you're able to kind of hit these weak spots. And you split the carapace in these same places, and you can kind of see this sort of fleshy skin or muscle underneath. And in the places where it's been split, it sort of oozes this sort of kind of almost a pinkish goo. Anything else? This particular Umber Hulk is going to attack. It is engaged with both Kaino and Min Wong. Or not Min Wong, sorry. Sigmus. Sigmus, I need you to make a charisma saving throw.
I'm gonna use a domain dice already.
All right, there's one of them. That.
Okay, that's a 16.
Whatever confused and confusing look grabbed Kaino, you seem to be able to resist it. It begins swiping wildly with its claws in reaction to your attacks. And it is first going to attack at Sigmus. And that is going to be a 19 to hit, which beats your AC. So you're going to take 5 points of slashing damage as it rakes its claws across you. With another swing wildly, that's going to be a 13 at Kaino. And you feel the rush as its claws swipe past and just miss you. Odds is Kaino, evens is Sigmus. Odds. Its mandibles come crushing towards you, Kaino.
All right. Just to let you know, my monk ability, my monk archetype is Way of the Kensei.
Okay.
So I do have the agile parry.
Is that a reaction?
No, I gain +2 bonus to AC when holding a melee Kensei weapon.
Okay, so is your AC 18 now?
So it's 18 for right now until I put my weapon away.
Okay, well, on this second attack, it actually hits with an 18. I rolled a 10 and an 11. It's attacking at disadvantage, and I rolled a 10 and an 11.
Hey, you know what? That's awesome.
So let me just double check, make sure the mandibles are, yeah, they are +8 as well. Its mandibles, as it bends down, you take 2d8 plus 5. I rolled a 1 and a 3. So you take 9 points of slashing damage as these mandibles snap around you and release. That takes us back to the top of the order at Min Wong. Min Wong, what are you doing? You're up in the Antheum or library.
And I noticed that Sigmus did not come with me, just turned around and ran off the other way, and I probably hear the sounds of the battle too.
Yes, you can hear swords clashing against something.
Chitinous.
You can actually, from where you're at now, you can also hear the sounds of voices scrambling from outside somewhere. They seem to be echoing through the stone halls. Calls for a bucket brigade and more water.
Can she tell where these sounds are coming from specifically? Or are they too echoey?
Make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Ah, poop. All right, here we go. Well, 7 on both dice, so that's a 10.
No, they seem to be coming from down the hall, which it's really hard to tell from what direction.
All right. Well, so she'll just sweat under her breath that Sigmus just decided to not come with her as she's trying to lead him to safety. And so she'll turn around, kind of go back out this way, and then go back around the corner to see the room on fire with the Umber Hulk battle. And that should be 30 feet of movement, right? Just to peek around.
Yeah,
the
because you
corner
had
again.
just gone back into the room, so yeah, you can make it back to that archway and see both Sigmas and Kaino engaged with another Umber Hulk.
Is that Umber Hulk within 60 feet of me?
I believe, sure. I'm pretty sure it is,
Sure.
but
All right. Again, this vapor comes from her flute and floats over and coils around the antennae of this Umber Hulk, and it'll give it just discordant, ugly sensations. It needs to make another Wisdom saving throw.
all right. That's
DC
going
50.
to be. Let's see. With a +0 to Wisdom, that's going to be a 5.
All right, that's close. So it has to use its reaction to move away from me, which, like, is as much of its speed allows. Which will provoke attacks of opportunity, and then I also deal 11 points of psychic damage to it.
All right.
It will avoid dangerous terrain, so it'll navigate around fires and pits, etc. But
as this happens, it gives a sort of it throws its head back, steps back away from Kaino and Sigmas, and it sort of looks around. It's with each scan that it makes of the room, seeing the fire, which is mostly now licked up to the ceiling. It keeps looking back towards the archway where Min Wong is, and suddenly it just, like, rapidly, just boom, it's down on all fours, and its claws begin digging at the floor, and with an unimaginable speed, it digs a hole 20 feet down straight into the earth through the stone floor. Actually, since it's going through stone, it digs through. It goes about makes about a 5 foot by 8 foot hole. So it's down in this hole, just trying to scramble at the earth, having just broken through the stone floor. Kaino, it is your turn, and I need to see if that breaks the effect on you. I'm going to say that because it was affected by this spell and is now breaking its gaze with you and digging down, that you are no longer under this effect. You kind of shake your head and you have full control of yourself. What would you like to do?
I'm going to jump in the hole after. No, I'm not going to jump in the hole after it. Considering that it's digging down and away, or at least getting away, like I'm sure I would have to jump into a 20-foot pit to go after it.
Well, at this point, it's only a 5 foot deep pit that's about 8 foot in diameter.
Oh, okay.
Because it was digging through stone, it could only go so far.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. All right, well, hell. Oh, I'll finish this damn thing off. Yeah, I'll just hop the 5 feet in and I'm gonna take it out, possibly even for good. So,
all right. Have at it.
I will have at it. That is a 28 to hit.
Just misses. No, that absolutely hits.
Dag nabbit. All right, and
actually, Connor brings up a good point. That first hit can be your attack of opportunity, and also Sigmas, you would get an attack of opportunity because it was engaged with both of you.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, good call. So that first attack that you hit with, do the damage. That's not your turn. That's your reaction.
Okay. So then that would be 9 points of damage.
All right, and then Sigmus, you get an attack of opportunity.
Okay, that will be 27 to hit
Yep.
with 21 points of damage. 9 slashing and 12 fire.
Excellent. And now, Kaino, it is your actual turn. As
Okay.
it's you guys are just slamming across. It's the biggest part of its carapace is this like hunchback, and it's starting to split and crack and ooze.
Okay, I just rolled a natural 19, so we can all just assume that that's going to hit.
Absolutely.
And ooh, that's nice. That will be 11 points of damage.
How do you destroy this Umber Hulk?
I think after Sigmus kind of took his last hit and kind of split the carapace, I kind of see a small opening. So I, as it begins to dig, like jump up and start digging down, I kind of use that momentum to kind of leap in the air and then just bring my short sword kind of straight through that crack in the carapace and like straight through its heart, quickly, no flare, no, uber violence, just a quick kind of clean kill.
And as you withdraw your blade, you feel its entire weight just shift into itself as it just slumps to the bottom of this shallow pit, which is now as if it has dug its own shallow grave. Connor, how long does the hypnotic gaze effect last on the other Umber Hulk?
1 minute, or until I break concentration, which has not happened yet.
Okay. So as of right now, we're about 12 seconds into this combat. So what would you like to do? Sigmus and Sigmus, actually, you know of the other Umber Hulk. As far as you know, you're out of combat. All three of you would begin to notice as it almost seems to be lightly raining from the ceiling. And you can hear footsteps and voices from above. And you hear the sounds of splashing water as it appears that whomever is attempting to fight this fire is succeeding, as the fire may have spread upstairs and they are dousing the fire. The water is running through the wooden floorboards and is putting out the flames that are licking at the ceiling still.
I found the stairs up. Come, we don't have much time. She'd yell to the two fighters. Come on. As she hobbles over to the huge library that has the stairs going upwards.
So do you two follow?
My magics will hold it.
I'm tempted to. I'm also tempted just to fight her, but you know what? It's fine. It's all. We'll just follow. We'll just go.
Before they leave, or we leave, that Sigmus is going to utter the same sounding sound effects, the fire crackling, and then the flame blade is going to go out, and he is going, as they're walking, he's going to put up his hood, kind of concealing himself as much as possible.
So you move through quickly out of the room, through the hall, and into this other room where you find, as you enter the room, you find the Umber Hulk surrounded by swarms of books, angry faces on their covers and bindings, swarming around, battering the Umber Hulk, cracking at its carapace, and the Umber Hulk is no longer, having taken damage, no longer under your charm effects, but it is swatting at these books, and it's off in the corner. Make me another insight check, Kaino.
And that'll be a 14.
Again, unsure how you know this. You know that this is a security feature of the Entheum, that any hostile entities within the library of the monastery will be attacked by the very books themselves. And this Umber Hulk is being viewed as a threat. And more books are swarming off the shelves, and this Umber Hulk is becoming almost drowning in a sea of pages. There's a few shredded pages and some torn books flopping about limply on the ground from where the Umber Hulk has ripped at them. But very quickly, you watch as books after book after book swarms in on top of this Umber Hulk. You see a clawed hand reach up out of the pile of books, and you hear this sort of as its hand drowns in the pages. A moment later, individual books, and then entire groups of books, those that are still able, fly up away from the Hulk, the Umber Hulk, and put themselves back in their places on the shelves until a few dozen tomes lie broken and shredded on the floor amongst the very cracked and oozing form of the dead Umber Hulk. What would you like to do?
That solves that, she would say. And she'll like, it's this way. I hope the books don't get to us.
They won't. And I'll I'll actually move ahead and lead the way.
You know this place.
I don't really say anything. I just nod my head kind of curtly and begin to run up the stairs.
I'll follow swiftly.
Sigmus would follow, I think, in last, kind of giving himself a bit of a distance between Min and himself.
I order the books to kill Sigmus. No, I don't. Nah, maybe. Nah, I don't.
Do you want to risk having the ability to control the books?
Nope. He says as he sips his wine like a goddamn Bond villain. No, thank you. All you need
Are you
is
sure that's what you want to do, Michael?
Yeah, I just pet the petting the cat. Yeah, now you see, Mr. Kaino, the tables have turned. But yeah.
All right. So you head up the stairs. You find yourself in a hallway. This hallway is about 40 feet long. There is a door and a window on the north wall to your left. You can see sunlight coming in from the window at the far end of the hall. 3 doors are on the right. Instinctively, you know that this is the you've come up the entrance into the sleeping quarters, and there are monk cells with bunks in them, your own among them, behind these 3 doors. The door to your left opens out onto a balcony. This stairway is the only way up into the sleeping quarters and the only way out of the sleeping quarters, besides the balcony. So you can go outside on the balcony, or you can investigate any of the sleeping quarters.
I'll turn back to the other 2 and say, Please, we have to see if our sisters and brothers, if my sisters and brothers are still here. Let us investigate. Go if you wish, but I need to make sure they're all right. And I'll head towards the sleeping area.
The balcony is clearly visible, right?
Yep.
Tarry if you will, I will go to the balcony. I must be free of this burning place. And she will head to the balcony.
Nothing is on fire anymore. That's what
Nope.
the rain was. The water
Okay.
that was coming from above. You don't sense anymore. You don't hear any more fire. And they were rapidly putting the fire out from outside. You can still smell the smoke. And you hear the voices, but they seem to have calmed down in their anxiety. That absolutely does not mean that you... It doesn't mean that you can't go investigate balcony. Absolutely. So you head out to the balcony, and we'll get to that in a moment, as Kaino goes in to check out the rooms.
Yeah, and I'm basically looking to see if there's anybody injured, anyone I can heal or help in some fashion.
As you open each door in succession, you find half a dozen bunks in each cell. But no people. All the beds are made. The light coming in through the hall would lead you to believe that it is sometime in the midday, possibly afternoon. So it's unlikely that anybody would be within their sleeping chambers. I would like everybody here to make a... What have I been making you do, Mike? Perception? Not perception.
Insight?
Insight. Thank you. Everybody here make an insight check.
13.
22.
1.
Sigmus, you seem to be moving and reacting on some built-in instinct, but you cannot place this. It's as if you've awoken in a stranger's home while the bed was on fire. You have no idea where you are or why you're here. Min Wong, faint memories of a pilgrimage, something to do with memories themselves, sanctification, purification, edification. These words, these purposes sift through your mind, but just like water through a sieve, you can't hold on to them. In a sudden moment of clarity, Kaino, seeing the empty beds, by the time you enter the third empty cell, everything comes rushing back to you. You are a high-order monk at the sanctuary known as Aomus, the Eye of the Mind Inner Sanctum, known for its dreaming pool and known for its dream vault. People make pilgrimages from all over the realms, both to have their memories stored in this infamous vault, and sometimes to do research, looking for historical information, because it is possible to inhale the memories of another and experience them. And your order is tasked with preventing, or protecting rather, these memories in the dream vault, which is the very vault you awoke in, seeing many of the dreams and memories being destroyed in the explosion and the fire. And it is also your order's job to protect those that would seek to use this place for their own ill gain. You're not entirely sure what happened leading up to this. You just know that there was something that caused you to go to the vault, make sure everything was secured. And when you got there, there was an explosion. And you're not entirely certain why or how, but the Umber Hulks actually fit into part of the threat.
All right, I will. I'll turn back, head to the balcony to kind of go, I guess, to whatever, I don't know, main courtyard or whatever area that that I've heard the other voices at. I'll keep the other two in tow just in case it turns out one of them caused this whole thing and I'll have to kill them. Which I'm fine with doing. By the way, I have no problems straight up murdering both of them if I have to.
Going to the balcony and looking around, you, from this side, you can't really see much of anything. The monastery is secluded up in the forested mountains. And it's really close encroaching forest on the northeast corner. You can see out into a yard off the the eastern edge of the balcony. And you know that this balcony is above the main terrace at the front. And as you look out here, you can see that there are a handful of your brothers and sisters fighting against these tall, like 6 or 7 foot tall creatures that look almost like bipedal wild jackals or dogs. And given that it's a one shot, I'm just going to tell you, they are mangy looking gnolls. And they are...
Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you were about to say jackal weirs. I'm like,
nope.
Cool. I've never fought those guys before. But
these gnolls are... One of them is bigger than the others and wields a vicious looking flail. And the other 4 gnolls each have 2 short swords, and they wield them with scythe-like precision as they are cutting down your brothers and sisters below.
I'm going to jump off the balcony and aim for one of those gnolls.
That's legit. It's about a 15-foot drop. So make me a acrobatics check. I don't know why I'm having you make this because it's probably like really high.
That's too bad. It was a 19 and then it rolled to a 9. But that is still a 16.
You absolutely are able to land, and because you land on one of these creatures, you won't take any damage. We're gonna go ahead.
I have a thing anyway that I could reduce all the fall damage up to 30 points of damage. So
let me get my other stat blocks here. You, Sigmus and Min Wong, you watch as Kaino looks over the balcony's edge, and you guys can hear the sounds of fighting below. And with barely a second thought, he just leaps over the edge. And let me find my stats.
I don't know how much damage I do to that gnoll, but hopefully stab my sword through its head. Right through its head.
You will do an automatic 1d6 of bludgeoning for landing on it.
Go.
And then you can roll into your attack from that as we look at let's go. We're going to go ahead and roll another round of initiative. I promise it's not built as all combat encounters, but you just keep going towards the fight.
Hey, this works for me.
Where does the fight come to us?
I'm like built for this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
100 damage.
This guy is... All right, so, what did you get?
I got a 15.
All right, Sigmus
8.
and Min Wong.
6.
So the batting order is going to be Kaino, and then the Null Flind, and then going to be Sigmus, Min Wong, and the Fleshnars. I figured it's a one shot. I'm just gonna tell everybody what these are that you're facing. So Kaino, you leap as part of your initial movement, so you can go into your full attack round.
All right. Now, as far as the 1d6 of bludgeoning, I rolled a 4.
Okay.
So as it's on the ground, I'm just gonna attack him twice with my short sword. First one is a 14. Actually, wait. If he's on the ground, and I'm on top
hold on. Let me see if he. How big are you? You're half elf, right?
I work out. Yeah. I'm a half elf. I'm not.
They're medium too.
Not a pixie barbarian or something ridiculous like that.
Go ahead and make me an opposed strength check. And we'll just see if it. Yeah, never mind. He's down.
Okay.
I rolled a 2, and I know what your strength bonus is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely knocked prone. So you did how much? 4 you said on the bludgeoning?
Yeah, 4 on the landing on top of him damage.
Excellent. So now you have your full attack round on him. And because he's prone, they're at advantage.
Oh, cool. That's handy. Awesome. So that is an 18 to hit. The first one.
Yes.
Okay, and that's 12 points of piercing.
Excellent. He's hurting, but he's not dead.
Oh no, my. That's a nat 20.
Okay. Well, knowing that it's nat 20s are automatic max, and then add your bonus modifiers, I'm going to let you do a thing just because, again, it's a one-shot and awesome thing. This applies to anybody. Go ahead and roll your damage. You're going to kill him with this shot.
Okay.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you roll this damage into the next null because it's a crit.
Nice. All right.
Because
so
as you
Max...
land, you notice that besides the Flind, there aren't 4 of these null Fleshnars. There are 6 of them.
Oh.
So, absolutely, roll the damage, and then I'll tell you what rolls over.
Okay. So, max damage aside, because max damage is 13. And I rolled another 6. So yeah, it's 26 points of just mess him up damage.
So I'm gonna because this is what happened with the roll through. That's actually enough to kill 2. So you go ahead and narrate how you kill this one and roll that crit into killing the second one. And Sigmus and Min Wong, you see this from above.
So as I land on the one knoll, I've just very quickly stab it through the kind of like base of the neck, like just severing its spinal cord. And then very quickly, I kind of get up on one handstand. And as I'm kind of flipping my body into position to face the gnolls, I'm throwing my short sword into the other one that's like kind of running up behind it, stab it through the heart, pull out the sword, and then flip back over to to get into position.
Absolutely amazing. As you see now that what you thought were 4 of these is actually 6, and that you have eliminated 2 and brought it back to what you thought you were facing. You also see that there are. Roll me a d4.
Already. That would be a 2.
There are 2 of your dead brothers and sisters on this. As you leap off, you see that some of it is up underneath the overhang of the second floor and the balcony you leapt off of. You're in the yard. There's 2 stairways that lead up to the terrace, and 2 of the gnolls are on the terrace, ripping apart 2 of your brothers and sisters. There are 6 more of these monks fighting off these other gnolls. So in addition to killing the gnolls, you have to attempt, if you care to, keep your brothers and sisters alive. Is that the end of your turn? Because that was just your first attack, wasn't it? Or was that your second attack that did the crit?
No, that was my second attack that did the crit. Yeah. I mean, I leapt off the balcony, so I don't know how much movement I would have had left after leaping off the balcony. But I mean,
technically,
I know, right?
I mean, you jumped and you dropped. I don't know. If you want to move. I'm not going to count falling as movement against your movement. Remember that, Sigmas and Min Wong, is if you jump off the balcony, it doesn't count towards your movement.
All right, I'm gonna run to the nearest group of monks that's getting, like, to basically try and mess them up. And I'll make one unarmed strike against a gnoll that is, like, harming them. I'll make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll run up and try and get the gnoll's attention on me, basically. And that is a 23 to hit.
Absolutely hits.
Okay, and oh, no, that doesn't count. Never mind. Okay, and then I do 2 points of bludgeoning damage, mostly to get its attention.
You have its attention as it sort of almost yelps as you strike it.
What do you think is like an open palm, like slap, like, but like right in the ear? It's like, who does that? You know? Yeah.
All right. So next up in this new batting order, I do not have anybody listed as 2. Oh, yes, I do. It's the Flind. I was looking at you guys. One of the gnolls is, I mean, he looks mangy. His hair is more scraggly, almost hanging off of the sides of its cheeks like some kind of weird mustache. It has a really long splayed tail, and it has this vicious looking whip. And it is going to attack at you as it moves in to engage with you. You know. And it sort of, as it does so, it barks something out in this guttural, just sort of, and all of the gnolls move away, including the one you're engaged with, granting you 1 opportunity punch or hit, if you wish, against the one you just slapped.
I will take it. I'll take it. Actually, I'll spend it. I don't know. No, never mind. I was gonna say, hey, I'll spend a key point. I'll do flurry of blows instead, but that's really really cheap. So I'll do a reactionary 1 hit, and that'll be a 25 to hit, which
That will
I
hit.
would assume hit. And ooh, there you go. So that'll be 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
You cuff it again as it moves away, but it barely seems to register it. This Nal Flynn comes towards you with this wicked-looking flail. You can see now that the embedded within the flail are spiked skulls. And it is going to make 3 attacks against you. The first attack is a 17 on the die, so that is a 26 to hit.
That will miss.
As a reminder, you have 2 domain dice, and that's exactly what it costs to make me re-roll 1 roll.
Nope, I'm gonna save it for a more important moment.
Okay, so you are going to take, as this whips out and hits you, you take 8 points of bludgeoning damage, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Do. Okay, wisdom save. And that's a 19.
All right, no effect from the Flail of Madness as it strikes at you again. This time it's a 23 to hit. Oh,
Yep.
Snap. I just saw the secondary damage on this one. So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. But as it hits you, it disrupts your chi. And you are going to take 22 points of psychic damage from the Flail of Pain.
Crap. Well,
What?
I'll be darned.
What do you got?
All right, you were right.
What was I right about?
Connor. No, not you.
Oh,
Connor, you were right. So remember all those flurry of blows and like punches and stuff?
I thought they seemed awful low.
Yeah, I was supposed to use all my strength modifier on them, but you know what? I didn't. That's my bad.
We'll chalk that up to you still not quite fully realizing.
No. Well, that's okay. You know what? I screwed up.
I mean,
That was my
fully
bad.
not realizing who you were or where you were.
No, there you go.
But yeah, you do take another 22 points of psychic damage from the Flail of Pain.
Okay.
And the final flail strikes into you. It's only a 3 on the die, which is a 12. This time the spiked skull just moves past your face in seeming slow motion. And it is now Sigmus's turn.
Sigmus looks from the balcony and he sees this slaughter that is going on. He sees this flail just annihilating Kaino, just doing so much damage. And so he says the same words again, calling his longsword to his aid to erupt in flames. And this time is much more spectacular as there are no other flames nearby. And he is also going to jump from the balcony.
All right, make me a dexterity check. I'll tell you what, you make an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Athletics, please. That's a 24.
You are able to jump the 15 feet without taking any damage as you move into an instinctive combat pose. You have 4 null targets and the Flynn that is currently engaged with Kaino.
He is going to go after the 4 other gnolls. So whichever one is closest.
Okay, the closest one would probably be the one that stepped back away from Kaino.
So
That's already
yeah,
been wounded.
without a moment of hesitation, without even so much as a word, his eyes lock on to the seemingly injured gnoll, and he strides forward, poising his blade, and is going to try and slash at him. That is a 13 to hit.
That is going to rake across. Oh wait, you're attacking one of the those. You hit it against its studded leather armor, but it doesn't seem to cut into it at all.
Okay, he's gonna try again, kind of back, using the momentum he had from the first swing to try and make this one, to give this one more of an oomph. And that's a 14.
That is exactly what you needed.
Yeah. That is going to be 14 points of damage.
Is that with the additional fire damage?
Yes, so that's 9 slashing, 5 fire.
How do you kill this one? This is the one that had was this the one that had previously taken damage? Yes, because it was the one that he was engaged with. So yes, you kill this one.
And so he uses this momentum he had from the first swing, and he doesn't even blink. He is staring at this gnoll, and he just decapitates it with this flaming sword, and it's so hot that it actually cauterizes the wound, and all you see is this cinder coming from the 2 body parts there are now. Would he have enough speed to get to another one?
Absolutely.
So he's going to action surge, and with kind of, after being pumped up from this one kill, he lets out this growl that sounds more like the flames than anything, and he's going to swing again. That does not hit. That is a 13.
Which one were you attacking?
Just another one that's
Okay.
close. Another
Yeah,
gnoll.
the 13 will miss.
Okay.
And next,
And then he's gonna.
Oh.
Sorry, he's gonna swing again because he gets.
oh, that's
2,
right, because action surge.
Yeah.
My bad.
And that is a crit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yay. So, okay. That is, oh my goodness. That is, sorry, I just need to oh my goodness. I think I've been doing this wrong the whole time. Whoops.
The thing I find the most funny about this is, other than this one shot, we've been playing on Sunday nights D&D for over a year. But this is what happens when you play new characters, new classes.
Yeah, I don't usually play like such a, yeah. Okay, so that's, oh my goodness.
What haven't you been adding?
I forgot to add my strength to the
Same-
longsword.
Same thing Mike did. For attacks,
Twice
for
in a row
attacks,
now, jeez.
for attacks or damage or both.
For damage.
Okay.
These are spellcasters. You can add your strength scores.
Because I'm dumb. So that, gosh, that is going to be, it's going to be 26 slashing and Um, 12 plus 22 fire.
Stop!
Good
He's
Lord.
already
Okay.
dead.
So I'm going to allow you to do the same thing that I let Mike do, because that's literally exactly enough to kill 2 of these things. So you are able to roll your crit from one into another. What does this look like?
I just imagine that there are these 2 gnolls in a row, and he begins to run after he killed the first one at these 2 gnolls, and he impales one in the chest, and his momentum keeps moving, keeps going, and Connor's face, I'm sorry. He is going to just run it into the second one.
I want you to make an intimidation check. And I'm going to have you do it with advantage because of the way in which Kaino also dispatched a couple of these things.
That is a 20, a dirty 20.
And I'm going to roll. The remaining Null Flesh Gnar sees, in fact, like when you impale these 2 and you drive them back into the giant wooden pillar of this porch, this terrace, it's right next to one of the Gnolls that's dripping blood from one of the monks that it just killed. And when it sees this, it just yelps and takes off running on all 4s into the woods. And that, before we get to Min Wong, we're going to take a quick break because my back teeth are floating. So we'll come back because the Flind is still very much in play. But I really need to take a quick bio break. So we'll take a real short break and then we will get back to the action. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in. Gamers Theater has been very active in the chat, keeping up with the clever one-liners punctuating the combat, which is awesome. Thank you for that. Stick around. We will be back in just a few moments.
rainbow. Ah.
And we're back, right in the midst of combat. We had to take a break, but we are back from that. Kaino, the monk, and Sigmus, the Fire Genasi Eldritch Knight, have in epic fashion leapt off the balcony, and both have had crits to dispatch 5 of the 6 Null flesh gnars that were ravaging the monk brothers and sisters. And the last one was so scared by what had happened, he took off like a dog with his tail between his legs. But the Nal Flind is not to be frightened. Up on the balcony, we see Min Wong. What would you like to do?
Min Wong has her flute out, and she's looking down at this Flynn, like battering its big flail, I think you said, against Kaino. And she makes a quick gesture with her pinky. A little click happens on her flute. And actually she poises it up as if it were some kind of blowgun. And she does. And a little dart would fly out. I'm blowgun attacking this Flind. But the dart is really the most important part here. So that will be a 19 to hit. And the Flind.
That is going to hit.
All right. I need the Flind, please, to make a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh, okay. Well, with an 11 on the die, that is a 19.
Okay. So it is going to pass this, but thankfully it has an effect that happens when it passes. So I'm going to be rolling some damage here. So it's going to take, oh my gosh, math time. 8, 12, 6. So 10, so 4 points of damage from the blowgun, 6 from the poison, and then 12 psychic damage from my bard feature as I burn up an inspiration point to have the dart attack its mind with subtle magics. Hopefully you remember what I said. I think it was 10 plus 12.
10 plus 12.
22 points. Yeah. Too bad it passed that save, because or else it would have.
Kaino, you see this Flind as it's struck by this dart, and it shakes its head and seems momentarily confused and in pain. It is Kaino's turn. You are engaged with the Flind.
Oh, it's on. Because I'm going all out. So as it's momentarily shaking its head, I'm going to quickly take this moment to attack it. That's a 22 to hit.
Hit.
Okay. That's 11 points of piercing, magical piercing. Then my next attack, which is an 18 to hit.
That is a hit.
Whoops. That fell off the table. That's okay. All right, so that's another 9 points of magical piercing.
All right.
Then I'm going to spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows. And this time, I'm going to add strength to that damage. All right, so that's, that's a 29 to hit.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that'll be another 9 points. And then last one is a 22 to hit.
Yep.
And that will be another 12 points of bludgeoning.
You just begin laying into this thing. Kicks, good lord. Kicks, punches, swords.
Kicks his preciouses.
You see blood spraying away from this thing with each successful hit. You see a tooth go flying. And with your final strike, you knock its head to the side. And it turns, blood and saliva dripping down. Another tooth, it flicks its tongue out, and another tooth is broken on the tip of its tongue. It looks right at you, Kaino. and crunches its own tooth into dust in its mouth as it raises its flail to strike at you.
Bring it.
That is going to be a dirty 20 on the first hit.
That hits.
And you will take 15 points of bludgeoning damage, and you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
I'm down anyway.
So you automatically fail your wisdom saving throw, but it doesn't matter. That won't have an effect on you. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to make an insight check with this to determine if it's going to make another strike against you while you're down or go towards the target that is up. Me as a DM, I hate attacking characters that are down, but it's also a one shot.
Oh, you totally could. I'm
But
totally
I want to
fine.
see if this thing is going to go for you while you're down, given what you just did to it, or if it's going to see the what Sigmus did to its pack. So that is going to be. I'm going to roll a wisdom, or no, I said insight, so that'd be a +5. Sigmus, you watch as this thing raises its flail into the air and it strikes down against Kaino, and it knocks him to the ground. And you see Kaino just go down and stop moving. It spits bloody saliva down at Kaino's body, satisfied that it's not moving, as it closes the distance towards you and uses its remaining 2 attacks against you. It just made the save, or the check, to make the tactical decision as opposed to the wild decision. 1 point lower, and it would have struck at you until you were gone. So it is going to attack at you, Sigmus, with its second of 3 attacks. That is a 9 on the die, so that is an 18 to hit.
So as Sigma sees this and sees this terrifying thing approaching him, you can see that his non-weapon hand begins to glow, and he begins to make these fiery sigils in the air, starting from his head down his body. And for a moment, they emblazon this huge light. And so much so that you almost can't even see Sigmus looking at him from straight on. And that is, Sigmus is casting shield.
Which grants you... Is that the one that does +5 or +2?
+5 bonus to AC.
For 1 minute, or is that just...
Till my turn, till the start of my turn.
Okay, perfect. So that will miss you then, because that was an 18. You're now at a 22. It's going to take its third and final attack at you. That is a dirty 20. So it's going to miss you. As the flail of pain and the flail of paralysis strike against your magical shield. Actually, if you're down, any hit against you counts as a critical hit, which counts as 2 death saving throws. Sorry, I only saw part of that as I glanced over. Yeah, pretty much with 2 remaining attacks, if it had kept attacking you, Kaino, you'd be dead. But with the shield that you threw up, Sigmus, you prevent it from succeeding in its attacks against you, and it is your turn.
You see that Sigmus's eyes are just this fiery color even more so. It looks like his whole body is glowing, and he is going to slash at this thing. So that's a 22 and a 16 to hit.
Both are hits.
So, did you want me to separate the damage, the type of damage?
It's not necessary.
Okay.
There's no special resistances for this monster.
So that's going to do a total of 41 points of
Good
damage.
Lord. As you take these big strikes at it, you rip open a couple gashes, and the Flynn still doesn't seem... I mean, it's reacting, and it's reacting angrily, but it's not dropping. But it is covered in wounds. It is almost sweating blood. It is so stressed from this assault.
I can imagine as this thing growls at him, Sigmus would just growl back in this creature-like sound. He doesn't divert his gaze.
Make an intimidation check.
Ooh. That's an 11.
As you growl at it, it growls back. Bloody saliva and froth spraying across you. It is not intimidated. Min Wong, you're standing up above still. It is now right up against the edge of the balcony directly below, engaged with Sigmus.
All right. And she's gonna resort not to her blowgun tactics, and is instead gonna conjure again this vapor, this incense, this mist that descends down upon this Flynn, assuming that it's within 90 feet of me.
It's within 15 feet of you, straight down.
Nice, perfect. As I cast sleep upon it, and so that the area of sleep only affects him. This is I'm casting it as a higher level spell because I really don't want this to fail. So I think I roll 8d8 here. I should really have this open. Oh no, so it'd be 7d8.
Yeah, because it's 5d8 at normal level.
Yeah, I'm gonna upcast it by 1 point. Well, do this the old-fashioned way. So that's 7. Plus 7. So that's 22. Plus another 16. So that's 38 hit points worth of sleepy.
What does it look like when you put the Flynn to sleep?
So there's this standoff of like, her, and then it just like just collapses right in front of you after it growls.
It literally,
Sigmus.
it just roars at you, Sigmus. Blood.
I think like its nose flares like a bit as it like smells the vapor and the incense kind of trickling around.
Immediately after that roaring, it just sort of like it's gonna roar again, and it goes falls to the side.
Min Wong then like folds her arms back into her robes and just like stands there like a strange watcher on the balcony.
As it collapses to the ground, you realize Kaino is lying unconscious on the ground, not far from you, Sigmus. What are you going to do? I guess we're out of combat, so there's no need to look at the initiative order.
Sigmus wants to stab this the thing on that is sleeping. He just wants to bring down...
I don't think it's actually an auto crit. I don't think that's right. I could be wrong.
Look, because I've
been known to make mistakes from time to time.
Yeah. I've been known
can't.
to game the system. Yeah, any attack that hits it, if it's within 5 feet, is a critical hit. So you got to be in melee, and you have advantage on the roll.
I will absolutely allow you, Sigmus, if you wish to coup de grace, because the reason he was able to put it to sleep was it did not have a lot of hit points remaining. So if you want to finish it off, go ahead and describe it.
And do you want me to make rolls?
No,
Yeah.
no rolls.
Oh.
It's sleeping. It's severely wounded. Unless you want to roll to see if you crit, but it's an auto crit anyway. So
So Sigmus would spit on this thing, and his spit is this little thing of fire that would come down, and smoke would slowly rise up as it kind of catches on whatever clothes or fur this thing is wearing. And with one of these fiery growls, Sigmus would take his sword and drive it down into this thing's back where it is collapsed.
and that is the end of the Flind. It does not wake. It does not rise again. You hear from the south, where you can now kind of see there's an area that leads towards the front of the monastery. And you actually, I take that back. Well, no, you hear this, but a reminder, Kaino is unconscious, not far away. But you hear Sigmus and Min Wong from that area. You hear a woman's voice. Good work, Corporal. I'd wondered what happened to you after you accidentally set off that firebomb. We were able to put the fires out, but then these creatures came out and began harrying the monks. And you see a woman dressed in armor, magnificent armor, and as you're looking at her, you recognize her as your commanding officer, Sigmus. She is Diamara Strongheart. And as you see her, you suddenly remember that you are one of her soldiers, and that your unit was nearby when an attack happened on the monastery. And you moved in to aid in the attack, in preventing the attack against the monastery. You were nearby because you were actually making a pilgrimage. You were part of Diamara's honor guard. And in the fight that took place, as you went inside to make sure there were no threats against the vault itself, you are the one that accidentally set off the firebomb that caused the fire that kind of knocked you all unconscious and destroyed hundreds and hundreds of irreplaceable precious memories. Not the figurines, the memories stored within the clay jars. And you remember that you are, in fact, this is your commanding officer.
As soon as this information, these memories come back to him, he immediately clasps his fist to his chest in a form of salute and lowers his eyes. And you see him clear his throat in embarrassment as he waits for the inevitable chastising or maybe even outright discipline of what he has done.
First off, shout out to Castle Mac and crew. We just got rated by 20 viewers from the Castle Mac channel. I have, of course, added the appropriate domain die to your total. Thank you to everybody that's stopping by as part of the raid. In case you're wondering what's going on, we are playing, or sorry, that's a party of 12. I don't know why it said 20 on the, maybe it was 20. I don't know what happened. At any rate, if you're here, thanks for stopping by. We are playing a one-shot called Eye of the Mind. And we still got a little while to go yet. Your commanding officer, Diamara Strongheart, she sees you give the salute, and you have this look as if you're awaiting chastisement. And you know that Diamara does not let these kind of things go unpunished. She reaches to her belt, and she throws something to you. As she says, "Well fought, Corporal. We need to continue clearing things out. We've got troops all inside the monastery. Fix that one up and meet us at the tent out front." You don't need to make a dex check or anything as you reach out and grab the satchel that was thrown to you. And it is a medicine kit, and inside there are a couple of healing potions, and bandages and things like that. It's a standard field medical kit. So you can tend to Kaino. Surprised it took me 2 hours to call you Keanu.
Whoa.
Sigmus would raise his gaze just for a moment and nod. Right away. And he would rush to Kaino.
So they are greater healing potions, so that's 44 plus, was that 8 or 4? I can't remember. I'm trying to look it up.
It's always the number of dice. So it's 44 plus 4.
There you go. So you have 2 of them, 2 greater healing potions in there. So you can roll a total of 8d4 plus 8 of healing.
Do I roll that or?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
I usually have the healer do the rolling.
Oh, thank goodness. So I'm like, I don't know where all my D4s are.
So I got 29 healing. And Sigmus is not a healer. He's a fighter. So he does not treat you with any form of tenderness because of your wounds. He might have actually done some damages.
Kaino, you actually come to sputtering as these potions are poured in your mouth very unceremoniously and unprofessionally. You take the full healing effect that you were given, but you suddenly come to feeling like you're drowning.
Yeah, no, I'll just cough and sputter and kind of shoot up as if like waking from a dream. And I can feel like my wounds slowly beginning to close up, but I still in a fair bit of pain. Kind of spit out a mixture of like healing potion and blood and saliva, just a gobbet, just kind of on the ground. Look up at Sigmus and kind of nod. I'm also actually going to pull out my own. I have a herbalism kit, so I'm going to try and quickly heal myself on the go, because I assume that we're all going to go to a tent.
Yeah, Sigmus says, once you are properly healed, we are expected at the tent out front. And he would look also to Min.
And she'd nod from this as if she could hear you, and she probably can easily. But just silent, hands folded, and yes.
Min, throughout this fray, as everything's been happening, and even seeing Diamara Strongheart, your memory has also been sort of snapping into place. I mean, since you woke up, less than 5 minutes has gone by. Maybe 5 minutes has gone by since you woke up. So you're kind of, it's not surprising that, you know, you're starting to get to that point where, okay, things are starting to make a little more sense. You're not fighting for your life anymore. You know that you are at Aomas, the Eye of the Mind Inner Sanctum, and that you came here as a pilgrim, seeking something, whether it was to preserve your own memories or to look up memories of ancestors or those past. You made a pilgrimage here. This is not your home. You are a visitor. So once healed and all this is done, will you all go out front to meet up with Diamara?
And today I learned that herbalism kits don't heal. So
No, they are
for all
actually
those
used.
watching, yeah, I don't know.
Healing
why.
herbalism kits are actually used for making.
Yeah, I
things.
just for some reason assumed they were filled with, I don't know, kale or something.
No, there's
strong.
Just chat on with some spinach.
No,
oh
the-
yeah, I'm healing.
the healer's kit. If you take
Quinoa.
if you take the healer's feat, it allows you to use a healer's kit for
Yeah.
actual healing.
And I did not because I'm just straight up pain inducing.
That's fine.
so-
I'm going to tell you guys this ahead of time as you go to talk to Diamara. We're going to count this as a short rest, so you may use any hit dice that you need to. So, as you come around to the front of the monastery, you find that there is indeed in this courtyard, there is a stone pool that is about almost 20 feet in diameter. And off to the side of it is a large command tent that has been hastily erected. You know... See, I keep having to look at your name every time because I know I'm going to call you Keanu again. Kaino, you know that this pool is the pool of dreams. And this is actually integral in the ritual that allows people's memories to be captured. You actually see, all of you, as you move around through here, you see several dead drow bodies, a few dead monks, a couple of dead umber hulks, and a few others that are some actually of your members of your honor guard, Sigmas, that are also dead. But you also see wounded people that are sitting there in various states of heads bandaged, holding bandages wrapped around their sides, claw marks raking them, one or two that are missing a leg or an arm. As you come around, Sigmas, the two guards standing outside of the tent snap to attention. One of them turns to you. He's a lower ranking member of your honor guard, and a friend that everybody just calls Bounty. And he kind of looks for a moment relieved to see you still alive. And then he says, "She's waiting inside for all of you." And as you all start to move inside the tent, he just mutters to you, Sigmas, "It's bad. Real bad."
Sigmas pauses for a moment and he looks at Bounty, flashing these very, very stony, serious eyes. But he just clasps him on the shoulder glad you're all right. And would just turn and continue into the tent.
Inside the command tent, you find Diomara Strongheart. The table has been set up. There are a couple other soldiers in there. And on a chair, there is another person that you recognize, Kaino. That he's an actually, I take that back. You don't recognize him. You see, though, that there is a drow that is seated on this cot. His leg is heavily bandaged, and he's missing a foot. As you all walk in, Diomara Strongheart looks at all of you. Corporal Sigmus, it's unfortunate the incident that happened inside the vault, but I'm glad to see that you've survived. It appears as though these others are formidable warriors as well. She places a fist inside her open palm and makes a bowing motion towards you, Kaino. It is good to see. Every time I see that one of the monks have survived, I'm pleased to see that you are also among the survivors. You seem to have fared well against those gnolls that were attacking. What else have you faced? She's looking at you, Sigmus.
Just a few of those bug-eyed creatures, and he would can they see outside the tent? Probably not, but no drow.
Very peculiar. The drow, the umberhulks, the gnolls. It seems that the umberhulks tunneled in. The drow came in behind him. The gnolls came out of the wood line, when the fighting began in earnest. We're not entirely certain if everything is related or if they're separate attacks.
And I think this is when Min would interject with a piece of knowledge that she would have gleaned in a bit of a rewind during this short rest as she wades through the battlefield of these dead and dying gnolls. She would go to one and lift its chin up and breathe in its stale dead breath as she uses her mantle of whispers ability on it, and would glean both its form this as a gnoll and all of its everything it knows essentially beyond super hidden secrets. So just kind of glean its intentions, why it's here, how many more gnolls are there, etc. And after she embodies this soul within her, and she would just release it after knowing why these gnolls are here, if she can. And then this information is what she would relay in this little blurb as she interjects.
The only thing you're able to glean through the gibberish that is this Nal's mind. This Nal's mind is Nal's mind is mostly feral instinct. There's no real intelligence behind what it does. But you sense that there was a driving force and one word that keeps coming up throughout its mind, as the word has a connotation behind it in the same way that a slave might view its slave master, or a child might view the boogeyman in the closet, with fear and an attempt to move as far away from it. And this one word is Drakenvar.
And so this was definitely the driving force, like a push rather than a pull. Like they weren't pulled towards the
Something
monastery,
was
like, towards the
pushing,
woods.
this Drakkenvar was pushing the Nals toward the monastery.
And so, yeah, Min would just interject this. The Drakkenvar pushed them here. Mere coincidence has them stumble upon this cataclysm.
As you say, Drakkenvar, make
My
a
head's-
history check, Kaino. And I'm going to go ahead and let you make a history check as well. Actually, I want all three of you to make history checks.
Nice. Come on. Jack of all trades. Hell yeah. 14.
I can never tell from Megan's smirk if she rolled really well or really bad. How'd you do, Kaino?
I actually got a 16.
And what'd you get, Min Wong?
14.
It takes a moment, Kaino, for the name Drakkenvar to mean anything to you. It's so far recessed in your memory. And it's not your own memory. It's because as a keeper of the vault and a monk of the Aomas, one of the things that you do is you imbibe memories and then recapture those memories as a sort of safeguard. The memories become diluted over time because they're not your memories, but it's part of the rituals as monks of this temple. And at some point, you imbibed memories of people that have once engaged with an entity known as Drakkenvar. It stands out in your mind because it's one of the few drow memories that are stored in the vault. Drakkenvar was a powerful force of evil in the Underdark about 80 years ago that laid waste to entire settlements of Duragar and a small outer settlement of Drow. The only image that accompanied this memory, besides most of the memory surrounding the name Drakkenvar, was filled with flaming cities, paralyzed, burned, and disintegrated bodies, death, and dismemberment. But all of these memories are punctuated by a feeling of being watched from all sides. And the last image, like the Eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings, is the flashing of a large, bloodshot eye in your vision.
And I'll probably not say anything, but kind of delving into this, this diluted, kind of fragmented memory. Seeing all these things and then finally kind of snapping out of it, kind of shake my head. And I'll look towards everyone else, and I have heard of this. Drakkenvar. He's an old world is evil being. But this was almost a century ago, fourscore, to be exact.
It seems to be alive now, doing its evil deeds, yet still.
Then we must find and destroy it.
Kaino! Kaino, is that you? This voice is foreign to you. It's coming from the drow with the severed foot on the cot along the edge of the tent. Diamara turns to you, Kaino. You know this dark elf?
I do not.
Kaino! I know it does not look like me, but it is I. Sten! I am Sten! You know Sten is the name of the monk that runs Iomis. He is known as Sten the Dreamkeeper. He is the one who oversees all of the monks. But he is an old man, a human with a gray beard and a balding head, not a dark elf.
I'll walk over to this drow, and I want to basically grab like whatever he's wearing, and I'm just gonna like put him so his face is like pretty close to mine, and I'm gonna look into his eyes, and I'd like to make an insight check.
All right.
And that's a 12.
You see his eyes. He makes no resistance as you pick him up. His eyes are darting back and forth between yours. In all the stories you've heard of dark elves, even when captured, they have a sort of feral awareness. What you see is a sort of pleading behind these eyes. A searching look. Kaino. It is I, Sten, the Dreamkeeper. It was I, when you were 17 years old, who rescued you, alone and cold in the woods. Would you look upon me like I am a monster? You don't know how it's true, but this dark elf speaks truth. You're muted. So close.
This went so well.
So close. I'm gonna start taking domain dice away when you do that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'll look to him and Master, how has this happened?
The vault has been compromised. We lost vessels, did we not?
Yes, Master, but the other dark elves then, are they us? Are they monks? Are they of the order?
I don't know. But I know when the chaos ensued and the explosion happened, the mist of memories and dreams began to seep outward. I was ripped from my own body. And I can only imagine the poor dark elf who found myself, my body as his own vessel. I know not where he is or if he lives. Consciousness was exchanged. Somehow, it appears as though some of you have maintained yourselves about you. But I have not. I need my staff of the Dreamkeeper. If I am to restore everybody's minds. But if what is said is true, it may already be too late. Drakenvar may already be on his way here.
Then, do you know where your staff is? Do you remember where it was last?
It was in my hand. And he looks down at dark grayish black skin. Wherever those hands are. Look. It appears that you know who this old man is. If he is who he says he is, and he speaks the truth, then we need to find this staff. Some of my soldiers have had their minds swapped with entities. I'm fairly certain that I myself have killed at least 2 of my own soldiers, thinking that they were Umber Hulks or Gnolls. And then I had to kill their bodies again, just to make sure. She kind of casts a sideways glance at you, Sigmus. I don't know what the 3 of you plan to do. But if this man speaks the truth, his staff is somewhere on these grounds or in that building, and we must go find it now. She turns and she walks outside of the tent. You hear her armored footsteps walking across the stone tile as she heads up towards the monastery, and you hear this sort of clang, clang, clang. About 3 steps, and then you hear nothing. What would the 3 of you do?
I'd probably follow her, or at least try and run up after her to go back into the monastery.
Okay.
Mind you, that's what I would do.
Were you gonna
unless
say
someone else is like, "Hey, this is a better idea."
What were you going to say, Sigmus? I heard the intake of breath.
Sigmus would just look around at the. Are there other people, like other soldiers, in this tent?
There were 2 soldiers in the tent that as soon as she heads outside, they kind of look at you, and they're actually not moving. They're very low-level soldiers, and they just kind of look at you, and then they look away. One looks at the other one, and they just kind of go, shakes his head.
You heard her. We must go into the temple and find this. Out, now. I said now. Don't make me tell you again.
The 2 of them look at the 3 of you, and they immediately head outside.
And then after they're cleared and everyone is kind of out of the tent, Sigmus would look to Kaino. Are you sure we can trust this drow?
This is drow in body only. He is my master. He is the master of this temple. Yes, I believe him.
Right. Then we should find what he needs. And Sigmus would leave as well.
As you all exit tent, Sigmus, You step outside, and you almost immediately run into one of the two soldiers that you had just ushered out. He's standing just outside the tent, practically blocking the entrance. There's room to move around him, but you weren't expecting him to be there, and you just sort of bump into him. As you bump into him, there's a sort of creaking sound of his armor as he topples over to the ground, completely paralyzed, unmoving, holding his form. And as he hits the ground, he sort of rolls back, and you see a look of shock frozen on his face. As the rest of you come out behind and sort of almost run into Sigmus, you see the courtyard, and you realize why you only heard a few footsteps. Diamara Strongheart. You can only assume it's her because of her greatsword lying on the ground is a pile of ash. The guards standing on either side of the door are still standing, frozen, not in sentry positions, but completely paralyzed or petrified. And the other of the two guards that you sent out into the area just lies dead, curled up on the ground. From above the monastery, you hear, "Where are my memories?" You look up, and you see what you can only assume is Drakenvar. A massive and grotesque-looking creature. Its bulbous body in purples and blues. A large maw of jagged, sharp teeth with a single giant eye above its mouth. And 10 tentacles waving in the air, each one of them with an eye at the end of it. And for the last time, I want you to roll initiative. If this was a campaign or not a one-shot, that would be where I would say, and that's where we're going to end tonight's session. But you guys are fighting a mother effing beholder.
Which is great, because it's not like we're horribly under-leveled.
Not at all.
Not
Hey,
at all.
you guys are level 6, and that Flynn was a CR9.
Fair ball. We're still gonna die. That is a 17 for me.
All right, so Drakenvar, which, because I came up with that name out of the top of my head, was almost named Drekar Noir. Don't ask me why that popped into my head. I had to change it.
In my closet, you can find our Drekar Noir.
I had to change it really fast.
Isn't that from Family Guy?
Well,
hey,
Drekar Noir is an absolutely awful old man cologne.
it's not
that
an old man
smells
cologne. In the 90s, in the late 80s, I wore Drekar Noir. When I was 17.
Enough
You're not an old man.
All right, so
Wear it.
Sigmus, what did you get?
Oh, that's me. 15.
And Kaino
17.
and Min Wong.
15.
Okay. Interesting. What's your dex, Min Wong?
16 plus 3.
So +3. And what's your Sigmus?
8.
Your dex is 8. You're a
Yes.
-1.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna pop
You don't
you.
need dexterity when you got magic force fields and
All right.
thick armor.
So here's the order. Kaino, you're going first. Of the 3 of you, you're going afterwards. Min Wong and Sigmus. somewhere in that mix is Drakenvar. What are you going to do, Kaino? He is hovering about 30 feet in the air above the monastery right now. Still muted.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
Okay.
You're changing your pants.
yeah, pretty much. Okay. Directly around me, those two guards, are any of them carrying a bow?
Yes, a longbow. Longbow.
Great. Cool. Thank goodness I used my way of the Kensei to make a longbow my proficient weapon. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna knock an arrow, and I'm gonna use my my Kensei shot. So not 100%. I think it's. I guess it doesn't really matter. So basically, that would be so it's 10 and it's a dex weapon. So 16, 7, 23 to hit.
That is going to hit.
Right on. And I remember, it serves me correctly, a longbow is a D8, right?
Yes.
Cool. So a D8 plus a D4 equals.
Plus your dex mod.
Yeah, plus your yeah. So that is 4, 6, and 4 is 10 points of piercing damage.
Did you say 4, 6, and 4 is 10?
No. 4, 2, and 4.
Oh, okay. All right, 10.
Yep. So 10 points of piercing damage, and I'm going to burn up a key point to use a dodge as a bonus action.
All right. Remind me what dodge does.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up too. So there you go. So you can go to the next person.
Yeah, because I can't remember if it gives disadvantage on the attacks against you.
I want to say it. That's exactly what it does, but it's been a long day.
Attacks against you have disadvantage, and you have advantage on dex saves.
All right.
There you go.
The beholder, Drakenvar, is going now.
Drakarnoir.
And for those that don't know how beholders work, it attacks 3 times with its eye rays, and they are randomly rolled.
Yeah, I did a video on it.
So you know what you're facing.
Oh, I do.
So I'm going to roll a d6 with 1 and 2 being Sigmis, 3 and 4 being Minwang, and 5 and 6 being that is Minwang. You are the target of this first attack. So you need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh. That is a nice old 14.
You feel your muscles begin to lock up as from the feet you begin to turn to stone.
Nice. It was good knowing you.
Am
I petrified this turn? Or
No,
next turn?
no. You have to make you repeat the saving throw at the end of your next turn. If you fail on that one, you become petrified.
Gotcha.
Second attack versus Sigmis is Sigmis, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
-4.
That's a 1.
Oh no.
Not a crit fail.
I'm going to my dice bag for 1,
Oh,
2,
Yeah.
3,
Here's the Death Star laser.
4.
Damn, death rays. Oh, death rays are the worst.
Can you just hate it when your whole planet, your planet blows up?
5,
much, yeah.
6.
One of the Starbucks, and then North America just doesn't exist anymore. God, that's the worst.
You show up to this monastery on a
7.
pilgrimage, and all of a sudden you're like, well,
8,
hitting.
right?
9, 10 d10 of necrotic damage as I absolutely rolled the death ray.
What now? Okay, now here's something I'm confused, and maybe even other people might. If you ever had to roll 10d10, why not just roll a 1d100?
Because
that's way different.
Because it skews
Is it
the
though?
damage.
It is very different.
It skews the damage very differently.
I don't know. Still think it would be fun.
13, 18, 23, 24,
I would much prefer
34,
him to roll a 1d100 instead of
38,
10.
42,
Less damage.
48 points of necrotic damage, Sigmus.
I have a thing.
Oh, I thought you just said you had like 1 hit point left, and I'm like, you're not dead. Sweet.
Sorry, what kind of damage was it?
Necrotic.
Oh. I can't use absorb elements. No. Never mind.
Are you still standing?
How much damage was that?
48.
I am still standing.
You're lucky.
It's not a death ray. Wow, what a
Because
misnomer.
if the death ray hits you and knocks you to 0, you die. So you take 48 points, and the third and final attack is going for Kaino. Gets one ray at each of you. And that one is going to be Kaino, you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
That's good, because I'm good at all of those. Except when I roll a natural 1.
It's a good thing you got 3 domain dice.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll burn one up. I feel bad, but I'll burn one up.
I'd feel worse if you had 3 domain dice left over and you died.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so for this time I rolled a natural 19, which is way better. So that's 21.
So you are not afraid of Drakenvar.
Oh, no. I'm afraid. It's a beholder.
Min Wong, you are up. You
Okay, well,
let
I
me
got
just
one
check
turn back
something
out
real
of
quick. So you're technically not petrified yet. You make
Okay.
your saving throw at the end of your turn, and there's nothing that says you're slowed down or anything like that. You feel your muscles begin to lock up. So you have your full movement and actions.
But she feels her body like she probably feels the effects kind of like imposing in, and she's gonna pull out from her bag this ornate urn. Before she does this, actually, how far away is this beholder roughly? Like, is it
It's
within,
about 30
let's
feet
say-
away, floating up above the monastery.
Cool,
right
that's enough. Yeah, she pulls out this like urn that's covered in filigree and other, ornate paintings, whatever, and she holds it in both hands, and she smashes it on the ground, and from it, this like this mist, similar to what she pulls out with her flute, forms out of it, as if the urn of the 1,000 warriors from Kung Fu Panda, and they actually congeal to form like this long coiling like dragon, but like not a regular European dragon, no, like a serpentine whiskered Chinese dragon, and this is an air elemental conjured by my elemental gem that was this urn, and it's gonna be summoned and do my bidding.
And that is what happens in your mind's eye as you throw the gem against the ground and it shatters and nothing happens. Because you are within the beholder's anti-magic field. The crystal is a mundane crystal within this field.
Well, was that my action then, sir?
I will not count it as your action. It's interact with object.
Nice.
Since you,
I will then.
I mean, I'm going to call it a free action to break a crystal on the ground.
Okay, that's fair. I'll mutter myself. Well, poisons definitely aren't magical, and I'll do my little blowgun at the beholder. Let's see if this works. Because the blowgun ain't magical. All right. Come on,
Can't
dice.
beat them, blow them.
There we go. So that's a crit. Not like it's gonna matter. Because that'll be 8 points of damage from the blowgun, including the crit. But it has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution. All right, so that's going to be. Oh, wow, I can't find my D20s in all these D10s. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. We need
16
a
on the
poll
die.
time. Do I spend 2 of these domain dice and screw all of you over in the hopes that this thing will fail its reroll if I spend these domain dice? I want to bring this up as a group discussion because this poison is very, very impactful. I spent many good coin that was given out to us by the team to buy this poison.
We're gonna die. So I mean, at this juncture, if you want to get him to re-roll it, go for it. But I'm gonna laugh really hard when he rolls a nat 20.
All right. Well, that's 1 vote in favor. How about Megan?
Yep. Do it.
Yep.
Do it.
All
big.
right.
Boom.
Big.
They are
Boom,
gone.
please re-roll. Let's just get it rolling.
So
Still
that's
gonna
2 domain
laugh and
dice
roll
to
them.
make me re-roll.
I'm gonna
Yep.
laugh
This
if
dirty
it's
20.
I'm gonna laugh if it's a nat 20.
Oh, it went off onto the desk.
Well, if it's off the desk, it's a fail, right?
Okay,
That works.
so I re-rolled. Drakenvar has a +4 to his Constitution modifier. The new number on the saving throw that you spent 2 domain dice for
Is it 21? No.
is a 9.
It's a 9. Okay.
I rolled a 5 on the die.
So this is
I rolled a
intense.
14 when it landed on the desk, but I keep my dice rolls in the tray.
For the next hour, Dakenvar has a poison condition, and while he has the poison condition, he is unconscious. So I hope that he's not immune or resistant to poison.
Question.
What kind of poison did you use?
This is the oil of Taggart.
Hey, watch your mouth. So now here's the thing though, I've always been curious about when it comes to poisons, because I've never really used a lot of poisons. But so if the creature's unconscious, do they wake up as soon as they take damage? Or is that just from being asleep?
That's just whenever someone has the unconscious condition, or like a spell that gives it unconscious, it'll also say it also wakes up if X happens, right? So
Okay.
normally things don't ever wake up by the rules. Like in the sleep spell, it says things can be woken if they take damage or get slapped or whatever, right?
Right. Oh, okay. Because I've always wondered that. Like I know that you got the sleep condition, but then when it comes to being poisoned, it's like so they're in a poison
comatose.
induced coma. Yeah.
I'm just gonna
So
verify.
the oil of Taggart. An unconscious creature is incapacitated, can't move or speak, and is
So
unaware.
not 1 hour, it's 24 hours. There we
The
go.
creature drops whatever it's holding and falls prone. Creature automatically fails strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls on the creature have advantage. Any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 5 feet. So those are the unconscious. Real quick, I'm going to take a look at poisons are in the DMG, correct?
Yeah, Taggart's on 258, and I just looked it up, and it says it does wake up if it takes damage. So whoever's gonna hit it is gonna auto crit it, and they better fucking rip that eyeball out and
So
serve it on a silver platter.
a creature.
They got
the
one
Constitution
shot.
saving throw
Do
become
not miss your
poisoned.
chance to slay.
Okay, so here's what happens then.
24 hours. You got 24 hours to make the biggest ballista possible. Hire as many storm giants as you
So-
can to just sit on it.
You hit it, and you deal this very minimal amount of damage with this dart, so it seems. And suddenly you see all 10 of the eye stalks begin to waver and then fall limp. The big eye begins to blink heavily And then the whole thing just sort of floating up there just kind of leans slightly to one side. It is now unconscious, floating 30 feet above you, just above the roof of the monastery.
And I'll announce before I petrify, we have a day before it wakes up.
You need to make a saving throw. That is a
All right.
dexterity saving throw.
Yeah, dex save. All right.
Yep.
18 on the die for a 24 total.
You managed to shake off the petrification. You are no longer in danger of turning to stone. All right, what are you gonna do?
All right. Let's bring a war meeting and get the war table going on.
So I'll give you a few minutes to discuss what you guys want to do, knowing this thing is going to awaken in 24 hours.
War council. All right. We'll wake in 24 hours. Or when we touch it. We must kill it.
I'm going to do one thing. And Connor, since you're the one that did this, I'm going to have you do the roll.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to... I'm going to roll a D100. I've rolled my D100. Wow. I don't normally roll mismatched dice, but I did. So I'm taking a picture right now of the D100.
Okay.
I need you to roll a D100.
Okay.
And as people know, the way I do D100s is it's a rolling scale, so if you come within a certain number of the number rolled, then a thing happens. I will tell you after you roll what the thing is that may or may not happen.
Okay. Here it goes. Drum roll, please. I rolled a 51, so like deadpan in the center.
So there is a 5% chance while you guys are having your war council, somebody else alive in the monastery will freak out and will see the beholder and will make an attack against it. However, I rolled a 100. I rolled 000 on this, so you're fortunate that you are able to have your war council and decide what you're going to do.
All right, so we can do things to it that don't deal it damage that won't wake it up, such as bestowing curses upon it, laying down a bunch of spikes, getting boulders ready to drop upon it. And Min Wong is like literally saying this to them because she has some of these things, not the boulders and spikes, but she can bestow a curse upon it. We can rig this fight in our favor as much as we can. We got a day to prep.
We could call upon your brothers and sisters, and Sigmus would look at Kaino and call on the honor guard.
We could tie all of its eye stalks behind its head so it can't use them.
Not if you can't touch it.
No, touching is fine. We can't harm it.
And what if it gets some sort of rash from the rope that's harming it?
I think that would be that's a little bit pedantic.
Meanwhile, I'm writing rope burn wakes from unconscious.
1d6 damage.
Sliver does 1 point of damage. Oh, wakes up. There we go.
I need you to do a use rope skill and a tie knot skill check to see if you pinch its skin.
With disadvantage, your hands are trembling because like this fucking death god is right in front of you. Yeah.
What if in your god is there anyone who knows how to make a siege weapon or something powerful enough that we can kill this thing. How many? And I'll probably put forth a plan to get as many soldiers, as many individuals ready around it as possible.
What if we line up all of our soldiers around it with our pikes, and then we just stab it all at once so that it can't do anything as it wakes up?
Yeah.
So they all get the auto crits, right? Multiplicative damage.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's what Min would suggest. Get your archers ready, get your axemen. And
Keep in mind, it's 30 feet in the air.
Even when it's
But
asleep?
can't we pull it down with some rope?
Beholders are immune.
It's like a balloon.
Beholders are immune to the prone condition. When they go unconscious, they just float.
That's right.
They just float where they are.
How far is it above the monastery ceiling roof?
Peeking outside the tent to take a closer look at it, you see a large hole in the roof of the monastery where it burst out of, and it's probably about 5 feet above the edge of the roof. I was just waiting for somebody to ask.
Okay. Oh, so it's 30 feet off the ground, not off of the... I thought it was 30 feet off of the monastery roof.
No, I said it's 30 feet up in the air. Yeah. I did say, okay, so the way I worded it could be confusing.
Yeah.
I said it's 30 feet in the air above the monastery roof.
Yeah.
So, I can see how that's...
No, yeah, okay.
It's 30 feet in the air, and it's pretty much like right at the edge.
So we grab all of our...
Because we established that it was a 15-foot drop from the first floor, so it's another 15 feet up to the roof.
Yeah. Okay.
Grab all of our able-bodied soldiers, equip them with spears, put them on the roof. Like, as many as we can. Just balancing on the roof.
Reach it.
Like,
okay, first off, if you want to follow through on this plan, I need a couple dice rolls. First, I need a D10 roll from each of you.
7 on my part.
I also got a 7.
Hang on. Oh, I got an 8.
Taking some time, you are able to find a total of 22 people, 7 pilgrims, 7 soldiers, and 8 monks still alive in and around the woods and the monastery.
Like how this is the moment when the MTD crit rules will work against you.
And now I need each of you to make a charisma check. As you're going to make a persuasion or intimidation,
persuasion
or deception, your choice, as you attempt to convince your group of people to assist you in taking down Drakkenvar.
15 for me.
29 for me on deception.
And I got a 22 on intimidation.
You are the most charismatic group of mother effers that you are able to rally all of these. So you have a total of 22 people to aid you. And with all the people that have died, you can absolutely find weapons to use.
Well, I'm going to take that longbow, and I will mention that I can lead the archers, or at least call a shot for the archers. And I'll look to Sigmus. Can you direct forces on the ground to stab, so we can all do this at once?
Yes.
So
good.
You're gonna take archers. Sigmus, if you're gonna take on the ground forces, how are you gonna do it?
Well, I guess not ground, but on the roof. Sigmus would have them shoulder to shoulder, as close as they can get together, and to all be poised with their weapons.
Okay. And
let me, these are all auto crits, right?
Mm-hmm.
if they hit, yes.
They got to. Yeah, the archers are going to be at. They're not going to be auto crits. You have to be. You
have to be within 5 feet. So your archers are not going to be auto crits.
The archers do it advantage though. On
Yes.
the attacks. So
and finally, I need to know, Min Wong, what are you going to do with your 7 pilgrims?
She's going to deck them out with as many like clubs, sticks, spears, pointed ends of things, handing them out, even like swords and like weapons from the battlefield that all the gnolls and Flynn's lay dead in. And I'll tell them to go up to the roof as well, and this is where the deception comes in, because Sigmas will make sure that you all are safe, or like we'll carry this through. That's part of her lie. But she's gonna actually like poise herself also on the roof, but ready to cast her witchcraft upon the beholder moments before we all strike.
Okay, so it's gonna take. I'm trying to figure out how 14 people are going to get on this roof to attack at this thing. We'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, if they stand back to chest and they hold the weapons above their heads like this, and then all just stab forward into it and back to
it's
chest,
a sound
to
plan.
back to chest, bracing one leg against, like in the back, and just like basically just slamming forward. I think. All right.
So here's what's going to happen. In what order is the attack going to happen?
Min Wong is going to cast her bewitchment upon the thing, and it will not wake it because it is not a damage source. And then we spears, and then
I would say we fire at the same time. Like as we fire, count like one second.
Well, yeah, we want the spears to strike first before the arrows, technically. Because we want that auto crit on the spears.
Right.
Not getting those auto crits on the
okay.
Yeah, because if you strike it with the bows, you're gonna wake it up.
Yep.
All right.
So it'd probably be as soon as you hear the yell of one of, or I guess Sigmas, you would fire, and that yell is to all.
Gotcha. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
What is this bewitchment?
I'm looking at what things I can do with Bestow Curse as my spell. And I'm probably going to be doing I'm going to curse it, and it has to make a wisdom save at the start of each of its turns. If it fails, it wastes its turn doing nothing. So kind of like just buying us time if it fails.
Always.
All right, so you're up on the roof then.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to touch it in order to do that. Okay. So
make a strength check to not punch it in the face.
Nope. So we're gonna get your dice ready.
Mm-hmm.
Sigmas, you got 7 warriors plus yourself. So you need to make 8 attack rolls. Use your attack bonus for your attack. You know what? Screw it. Use your attack bonus for all of them. You're commanding them.
All advantage.
So with advantage, I want you to make 8 separate attack rolls. I'm going to start marking how many hit.
Oh my god. This is what happens when you give us 1,000 gold to buy stuff.
Yep. I'm looking at Megan's face, and it doesn't look too promising. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Okay. So I got a 28, a 26, a 15, a 10, a 20, a 16, a 21, and a 28.
6 of them hit.
Yes.
So those are all crits.
Okay, so in terms of damage, how do you want me to do that?
Roll your whatever yours is, and then 5d8 plus your attack bonus. You were one of the successful hits.
Yeah. Okay.
So
then
the other 5,
5d
I'm just going to say they're attacking with a d8 weapon.
So they'd also add on another 40 onto theirs.
Right.
Right.
So that's
So
7.
what's your damage bonus?
My damage bonus is +7.
So that would be plus 35, plus 40, 75. All right, hold on. Okay, so at the same time, because I just want to see what happens. Min Wong, make your attack rolls.
So yeah, so I touch the thing and it makes a wisdom saving throw to be cursed or not.
Well, it's unconscious, so it would fail its saving throw anyway.
And then I make 7 attack rolls with advantage using my attack bonus or hers.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's a 24. That's a crit. That's a 25. That's a 19. I've lost track. That's a 19. Is what, 1 more? 2 more?
2 more.
Ooh, that's a 17. And then another crit. Or nat 20, I guess.
And finally, so we don't leave out Kaino, make your 8 bow attacks.
Actually, because I have 8 archers, wouldn't I make 10? Because I get 2 attacks.
Correct.
So I gotta make 10 attacks. Okay, great. With advantage of all things. All right.
Yep.
So 1, 2. By the way, what's the magic number that I'm looking for so it hits?
18.
Okay. Oh my god. I rolled with advantage and got 2 nat 20s.
Nice.
That's great. All right, that's 1. That's 19. 27. So wait, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 21. And finally, another 21. Okay. So 21, 28, dirty 20, 29, nat 20, 21, 19, 27, and then 2 more 21s, which is 10.
All right. In the fashion of 3 very excited victors in a battle, you are in the tavern days, weeks, or months later, and you are all telling the tale of how you defeated this beholder. Go.
And that's when the blood sprayed out, just covering the lawn behind the monastery. And from it, these terrible flowers grew that were gonna, that the monks would tend to for the next, decade. Chain story. This.
My drink is empty. Excuse me, can I? You never do seem to tell the story correctly. It always seems to be more. What's the word?
You see, as a bard, it's my job to tell the good stories, even if they aren't quite true.
Right. Well,
Really beholder that day. Was it just
Well,
another
it did die, and yes, we did kill it. And fortunately, though, I just feel terrible for poor Sigmus. I mean, he had to pull bits of beholder flesh and offal and blood and off of his armor. I mean, it took you what? How long was it, Sigmus, to clean your armor?
Longer than this whole ordeal took.
Yeah.
At least you had so many beholder steaks you could chow down on for the next few weeks.
We lost a lot of very good people that day.
Yes. Yes, we did.
It's quite empowering to see what a few men can do, even if they're not the most abled. What they can do when they put their minds to it. We all rallied our forces and joined in arms. Even the monks and the elders and the youngs. We all banded forces.
Oh, it's over. It's done. And I don't know why I have to journey with the two of you, but I'm sure this is something that would be good. Perhaps.
Well, you see, they haven't quite repaired the roof of your monastery yet.
Well, yes, but I mean, I don't know. Perhaps some time away from the monastery for a little while would be beneficial.
Megan, roll a d10.
Nine.
As you are sitting at the table, relishing in the tale, it's the third or fourth time you've had to tell this tale. One of your soldiers comes up to you, Sigmus. Captain Sigmus, this package just arrived for you. It is a package wrapped in a sort of like an oilcloth. It's about 3 feet long and about maybe 10 inches wide and high. I was ordered to give it directly to you.
Right. Good on you. And Sigmus would take it.
It's got a bit of weight to it.
And he would look at the man who gave it to him as if, very dismissively, you're done.
He would click his heels, turn, and leave.
He would take a glance at both Kaino and Min, raise a brow, and look inside.
You tear open the package, and inside you see the oilcloth has contained some of the black blood that oozes from the end of the one severed eye stalk. A milky eye, just barely visible behind a closed lid. The same purplish, bluish color. The eyelid blinks open. And I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
It's a bomb.
And just know that you determined which eye stalk you got.
I got a 17.
And I hate that Beholder eye rays don't have half damage. A green ray blasts out of this eye, shooting up towards the ceiling. You just miss. The plume, a piece of decoration on your armor, is disintegrated as this ray shoots up towards the ceiling, cutting through the second floor and cutting through the roof, blasting a hole in the tavern. A half-dressed man and woman peer down from above, looking down at you from the room where they were above you. The tavern owner comes over to you, looks up at the ceiling, looks at the thing on the table, and looks at you and says, "You're paying for that, you know." And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. I can't even get you with one last little bit. That's my own fault because I let you guys take whatever you wanted. That somehow Connor would find a way to one-shot my Beholder, my CR13 Beholder.
I just let it sleep for a bit. It needed its beauty sleep. I saw a lot of bags under its eyes.
I mean, I like seeing that stuff, but having watched a bunch of older Critical Role stuff and seeing like 3 or 4 times where the players thwarted Matt's plan dramatically, I feel Matt's pain.
I don't know. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, I just turned this off.
No, I mean, it was brilliant, and I gave you guys some. There are ways that it could have gone wrong, but no, I had a blast with this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So much of this was just literally just making it up on the spot. I had the framework of the story, which comes from the published module. Mind Blast by Will Doyle. I used some of the names and creatures in there. The thing that I didn't tell you about, I talked about at the break, that didn't come up at all, was the cook of the monastery had her mind switched with an owl bear in the forest. And my players, the first time I ran this, encountered the owl bear, and they were able to successfully interpret its behavior that something wasn't right, and they figured out that minds had been switched. And so this owl bear, they ran into it right away, and it wound up accompanying them through the whole thing. And once they did the ceremony and they got the minds replaced, somehow a residual memory stayed with the owl bear, and it sort of loped off into the woods but turned and looked back at them. And they still tell fond tales of their brief companionship with Uncle Owlbear, as they referred to it, which came about because of a throwaway comment. But yeah, they still tell stories about old Uncle Owlbear. So yeah, I had fun with this one. I wanted to challenge myself to throw some big things at you guys. The Flind was a CR9, had 130 hit points, but you guys were doing some massive damage to it. The Null Flesh Gnars, they didn't have a lot of points. The Beholder, I rolled for his hit points and came in at the average of 180. But yeah, I mean, some of his attacks are like Death Ray and Disintegration. They kill you outright.
Oh yeah, Beholders are awful things.
Yeah, and
all of them. Every single iteration of a Beholder is just nasty in some way.
It's just something to behold.
Keep it up, Connor. Next time, and Death count Tyrant. On it, you will be facing a Death Tyrant.
There you go.
Tag it.
And it'll have to be an attack into its lair.
Exactly.
With a Tarrasque pet.
Yes.
Oh, now you're just silly.
I've already run a Tarrasque game. I think I'm okay.
You know what? But I mean, really, they just seem like it's like a force of nature. Really.
Yeah, I mean, really, the only way the Tarrasque was defeated was one of the players sacrificed themselves and took it to one of the. I think they wound up. I think they wound up in Elysium. I thought.
Oh, I thought it was in one of the 9 hells.
Was it? Well, maybe it was.
Was it? Because
Yeah, I'd have to go back. That game is called The Destroyer of Worlds and Affairs of Dragons game, where the characters played as dragons, and you can watch it on youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain. So I want to, yep, along with Taylor Jeffrey, I think Baron Cantrell was in it. Did Karen play in that one? I don't know if she played in that one. You can find out if you go check it out on the YouTube channel. But I want to thank Mike, Connor, and Megan for that was weird.
Look at me.
No, you know what happened?
Now.
Nope. You know what happened was you guys got your mind switched when there was actually a whole sub thing I didn't use. When somebody loses consciousness at the monastery, you're actually supposed to roll. Mike, roll me a D10 real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I actually kind of forgot about this.
Why the heck not? I rolled a 1.
So when you came back to consciousness, You actually should have come back with the mind of Queen Borica of the Elk Tribe Barbarians in your body.
You know what? I'd have been okay with that.
There's like a whole
okay with that.
There's a whole list. Like one of them is the Mad Hag Soggy Nell. I had when I ran this the first time, I remember it. The one that came up was Honora Inkwing, Princess of the Pixies. And until you get fixed, the way we did it was you kind of jointly inhabited the mind space. So it was like you had a split personality. So yeah. Anyway, check it out. You can look it up online. It's called Mind Blast by Will Doyle. It's an in-world winner. Thanks again to Mike, Connor, and Megan. When this is up on YouTube, you can see their links in the chat, or you can, or in the sidebar, or we can type in Mike. We can type in ! Megan. And it's the same information for Connor, so I'm not going to do it. Actually, I don't know if I have Connor set up. I got to check. Connor. Nope, I never set Connor up.
Neglected. Oh well.
And of course, myself. So thank you for the raid from Castle Mac, for everybody who tuned in to join along with us on Eye of the Mind, a sort of last minute one shot on the day of the big game. This is our big game. Be sure to tune in to Mini Terrain Domain on Sunday nights at 8:30 for our usual Tomb of Annihilation Cult of Personality game. Tomorrow night, Monday nights at 8:30, is our All That Glitters Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. This coming Wednesday is the third and final session of my Dragon Grin playtest called Blood and Vengeance. And then Thursday is our Dawnbringers campaign, Season 2, Episode 5 of the Forge of Fury, which I think we said was going to be titled Welcome to the Glitterheim. So thank you to everybody. Again, I think I've said that like 6 times, so we're just going to end the stream the same way we end every stream, and you can say it with me if you want. Make it
Check out Curse of Strahd next Tuesday. Best night.
Well.
Hail Satan.
All that glitters.
Hail Satan.